Off, folks, it's time for the final match of the night. It's the upper bracket final. Winner gets into the grand finals of this closed qualifier for ESL Challenger Rotterdam. One spot available to all four teams competing. Boggs and JRT on the mic, and it's time to see who's going to take this one. ATK on the CT side. Team 1 picking into DUST2. And, well, Team 1 do like DUST2 quite a bit. And Maluk is kind of an animal on this map. Mobs is always an animal. The ATK are going to have a lot of work to do to shut them down. Fady gets a good start here. Swisher chimes in as well. Missed him, will shut down Pesadello. But Mobs is still alive, but now he's gone. So it's all down to the in-game leader, the veteran of the squad on Team 1. Maluk will get one. They're chasing, they're hunting because he has the bomb. But he's down to 18 HP, into a corner, and into a coffin. ATK win the pistol round. Not really any fuss about that round at all.
No, I mean, pretty straightforward defense there from ATK. Great read, figuring that Team 1 would try to push towards that B site. That's exactly what happened, and they walked into a full-on crossfire. Team Ace coming through from ATK, everyone getting in on the action, the pistol, and now Team 1 going to force up, despite the fact that they did not get the bomb plant in that round. 4 Deagles, and the Skell will be coming through. Flashbang going to get thrown for Bowden to get a quick peek towards long. And, well, Team 1 weren't even in position to peek long at that moment. So, as it stands, Team 1 don't really have that much space gain. They did go into the upper tunnels and down to mid, so some mid control. They need to be careful from long, and they're not even watching it at this point. They're more laser focused on a potential cat take.
There's some good damage there. But they're going to walk up towards Catwalk and head towards A. Only one real defender here is Swisher. Tosses his smoke down. If you can isolate the duels, you can knock them down one by one, but if they rush and swarm the site, there's a very good chance Team 1 could even get the bomb down, given how far ATK's defenders are from the A side proper. They're stuck behind that smoke, though. They're all grouped up like a little gaggle of geese up towards Cat. They haven't made their way up the stairs yet. And Swisher playing on Car. He's in a dangerous spot. The nade can do some damage, though, although there's only one player without armor. The nade does a boatload of damage, though. The spray does some as well. And Fady's come through to try and help this one out as the bomb is going to be planted for Catwalk, which is the victory here for Team 1. Oh, that's nice from Fady. Really good cleanup work there.
Yeah, pretty easy. But like you said, the victory for Team 1 is finding the bomb plant at the very least. Even though that was a force buy round, the bomb plant will make this next buy up a little bit more viable if they want to go for it. But my feeling is half buy will come through, and they're going to wait to round number 4 in order to get those AKs up and running, because there's no reason to continue forcing up even on your T side. And there is aforementioned half buy. On the ATK side, a bit of a bonus round, and not a bad one. In fact, with 3 A1Ss and 2 FAMASas coming on through. Let's see what they can do with that. As Team 1, all 5 players heading towards long. Some utility being lined up here so they can get this push on through. Good flashbang thrown. Bowden gets a Molotov in, but both players are ahead of it, so Team 1 have the edge towards long for the time being, but they don't have the range with the guns they have in their hands, especially the 3 Tech 9s. 2 Deagles, maybe. But outside of that, it's not going to be the easiest take of long. And ATK have some kind of read here, Austin. They're completely falling off A.
Yeah, they are.
I don't know what gave them
They're going
that.
back now.
Yeah.
I don't really know what's going on here. I don't think ATK really know what's going on here either. And this isn't a window for Team 1 to exploit. There's a gap in the smoke, which will be smoked off, but Bowden's going to go through, and that's the problem when you go up close and personal against the pistols. The nade's going to rain on through. Maluk's going to get chunked down, so is Pesa. Maluk's at 20 HP, but again, a bomb plant very likely for Team 1, which is the victory. Oh, the flames will mow down, or roast Maluk, rather. The Tech 9 of the Deagle have found 2 kills. Hold up. No way Team 1 have a man advantage. Now MO Team will bring it to even footing, but this is the problem. Now it's down to TRK, but he can still finish off MO Team and bring it to a one-shot ball game where he just needs a headshot. And he's a very capable player individually. A lot of time on the clock as well. Could even try and go for a plant here, which again was the end goal for Team 1. Getting the bomb down. That's what they wanted, and they do achieve it. Everything else is just icing on the cake. Everything else is just bonus. MOTM playing it with fire here. Fady coming up the backside. Doesn't go for the kooky style. Gets the backstab instead. But 3 players lost for ATK again. Terrible for their economy. And for Team 1, back-to-back bomb plants. They are flush with cash. Look at that, 6,900 for Maluk.
Yeah, I mean, the good news is for ATK, they only lost one player in round number 2, so that will cushion their economy a little bit. But yeah, that was a weird one. They gave up all that space towards long, even though they were probably fully aware of the fact that Team 1 would be on a pistol buy-up the way their economy had swung. They decide to completely give it up. And once you let the pistols get up close, I mean, you talked about it, it becomes so much more difficult to hold them off. And that's what leads to another bomb plant for Team 1. So this buy-up is a lot stronger than it would have been without the plant. Anyway, 4 AKs and the AWP is going to come through. This time Team 1 are going to work upper tunnels, peek into lower. Bowden is watching from Cat with the op. Sometimes you see that boost come through to get more visibility, but Bowden's got it on lockdown. Maluk gets pinned to the wall, and TRK goes down as well. Bowden threading the needle on that second shot, catching the edge of the wall, and Fady drops IDK. This buy-up has yielded nothing for Team 1. The aggression's been perfect, and Pace is not even watching mid. He's got his back turned, waiting for a push to come from long. Bowden, of all people, with the big green pushing up, taking the space. Malb's the last one standing, and this round has been just erased by ATK.
Erased indeed. MOTM will get the finisher onto Malbs. A flawless victory for ATK. Great for their start, great for their money, great for their CT side. Again, the pick of Team 1, so ATK got to pick the more favorable side of DUST2, at least for them. Actually, never mind, hold up. ATK's map stats on DUST2. They've played it 8 times, won at 5, a plus 28 round differential, with only a 51% win rate on CT versus a 60% win rate on T side. And their only loss as of late, their only notable loss, was to Apex on LAN at Frag 17. But this round should be relatively simple for ATK here, as Fady investigates a couple of kills. Pesa will get one, but he's very, very low. Mac 10 will not avail him. And Maluk getting the 1vx, takes a shot with Dig. Can't get a second. The 5-0 start for ATK here.
Yeah, and only one player lost over the last 2 rounds for ATK, so that means the money can really start to build up. They've got that economic footing they were looking for, and Team 1, with 0 rounds, are going to call a timeout to talk things over because things have really not gone their way. The most frags they have of any player is 2 for both TRK and Maluk. DUST2 typically is their home turf on the Team 1 side. A lot of teams didn't want to play it against them and often ban it just to avoid this type of situation. But now it's floating on through because I guess teams haven't seen them on it for quite some time. And at Fragadelphia, Team 1 were looking absolutely phenomenal on this map until they played against EGPA. And then they kind of got walloped. It was a little bit surprising considering how well they had played on land. But that was the only time when they really struggled. And now here against ATK, thought we'd see some more success. And of course, they are picking into it consistently. So perhaps ATK realized that and were prepared for this possibility. Certainly had to have been expecting them to be their opponents in the second round of upper bracket.
Yes, indeed. We have a quick tech issue. We'll be back into it in just a second here. It's not on the players' end. It is a production issue, so please bear with us here.
Oh.
We'll get back into this one in just a moment. But ATK picking into Mirage, I think, is where things get really weird, because we saw how it worked against B-Hop.
Yeah. I mean, against B-Hop, it was a wash. They just couldn't find their rhythm. And on Ancient, it looked a lot better. It looked more like the ATK we saw on map number 1. So perhaps you're thinking, look, guys, that was terrible. There's no way we can play worse than we did in that first half of Mirage. And it's certainly a map that we feel comfortable on. That has to be the mindset from them. So they picked into it again. And you know what? You got to stick to your guns. Anyway, looks like everything's been solved. And we are jumping into round number 6. Another full-on buy coming through from Team 1. Their loss bonus is at a full 3,400. So every single time they get a bomb plant, that means a full buy will come through, despite whether they win or lose the round. Fady, going to be peeking around from mid here. Feels like he wants to push out, but he is going to at least wait a little bit longer before making that decision. Perhaps a flashbang can be thrown for him to go for this peek. Bowden, in the meantime, will not be doing so just yet. They're just being patient, our ATK here, Austin, which is a bit of a change of pace because they really, both in this series so far and the previous one, like to take the fight to the T side on their CP side.
They're getting a lot of cat control again. And there's still utility being shuffled around in CT spawn for
Yeah, someone's
ATK.
collecting nades here.
Yeah. Oh! IDK's collecting nade damage. And touchdown! Bodenmaster gets the connection onto IDK. And more damage
I
onto
love
TRK.
this.
Yeah, he's just collecting nade damage stats at this point. Man.
Man, I love seeing these types of strats come through, right? Since drop grenades were introduced. We don't see it as often as we thought we would. But man, when it happens, like you could be like, okay, there are 3 nades here. There are maybe 3 people. No, only 1 throwing all of them. Boden gets a frag somehow before going down to that nade. It was a simultaneous shot as nade exploded, and the round's over. Fady gets the last 2. Team 1 rebuffed completely. Only 1 casualty for ATK, and some great usage of utility by Bodenmaster. Another
timeout here.
Yeah,
this time it's another technical. We'll be back in here real quickly. We have a coach disconnecting, so we'll wait for the coach to join up again. Just CS:GO things, you know. The servers, it's late for the servers too. They're getting sleepy. They want a bit of a break. But ATK, this is the ATK we're kind of expecting, though, isn't it, John? The ATK that's able to take the fight against literally anybody in the region. That's able to go toe-to-toe with people on par with them and bully them.
Yeah, no. I mean, I expected ATK to honestly take care of B-Hop without much of a problem, but I believe they underestimated them in a very big way, and that's why that series got so out of control. But Team 1's another story. ATK knows what they bring to the table. So it appears as though this start has been a lot better. It looks like we had to have a quick match medic come through, but the coaches are back in. Everything is sorted, and we are jumping into round number 7. Team 1 do have enough money to force up if they want to. They would be able to get AKs, armor, and everything. But they're going to be a little more conservative and just go for the pistols and a nice set of utility.
Yeah, I like the idea. You can get some control, maybe go for a lower mid pop and try and take somebody out. Oh, we got some unidentified on the HUD here. 1 second, that should fix it. Yep, we're good now. But yeah, they're going for lower and mid control. Trying to close the gap with the pistols. And that's exactly what you want to do. Just get in tight. Try and get a gun upgrade. That's mission 1. Get yourself an upgrade. For everything from there could just scale forward. But it all starts with getting that opening pick. With getting that opening upgrade. But there's the nade damage, though. Boden tries to take the shot, drops the molly instead as he has to fall away. And that's going to hold Team 1 at bay for a minute.
I love that they're just tossing nades into spawn. They leave all the nades in spawn to be used towards cat.
It's a great idea. It's a great counter to Team 1's constant cat aggression.
Yeah.
Now there's some nades being used in middle. So it's not just for cat. It's basically airstriking every single part that's accessible from CT.
Yeah.
It's a great ability raise there. Well, there's the upgrade available for IDK and company. Fady is in a very rough spot in this fight, and he can't connect it. Now he's pretty much dead. He's got to try and stay alive for a while. He can't even get one. MOTM's brought it back, but if the bomb goes down on B, issues arise, but MOTM and Fady clawing this one back by the skin of their teeth. Maluk trying to get the deagle shot up. There's the AK for TRK as well, and the bomb. It can cross and get planted towards Tall. The sway denies, and TRK falls. 7-0 to ATK on their weaker side of this map.
Wow, what an aggressive swing from ATK. Honestly thought the bomb plant was going to come through, but Swisher and the rest of the squad were not going to allow it. everyone erased from the site before they even got a chance to get a foothold. And I mean, before that moment, there was a frag that happened top mid and towards the tunnel simultaneously, right when Team 1 looked like they'd be able to get into B site and garner even more map control. But good job by ATK to rebuff them. Now, one player has slipped through towards long. That is Maluk, and he's trying to fight here, but no! He gets flashed and stuck in the Molotov. Mobs will find the trade. That was towards mid, but he takes a lot of damage in that engagement, and they've gained space. A big gap for ATK here, and they don't realize how open B is for the taking. Mistim's going to tuck into the tunnels here as Pesa takes another frag away. But this is not going to be easy for ATK. No way.
Oh,
Again?
You were saying. Again, it almost feels like Team 1 is playing ATK as ATK on Mirage in the last series.
Yeah.
They just can't do anything right. They get a couple of picks, and then it all just comes falling down like London Bridge. And there's retake utility available. A flash, Mistim's in through tunnels. This is a very viable retake here, as there's nobody watching the tunnel saying, oh, now TRK swings. That's a disgusting shot. But it's all down to TRK, and MOTM is heating up late in the day. As he mows down the last two site players, Bowden will drop through window, grab that defuse, and yeah, ATK are just able to find a way to win. Meanwhile, Team 1 can't buy a round.
Ay. All right. I mean, a player got caught out towards Xbox, and then there was another one that was again trying to get into the B site, shut down, and Team 1 went from a 4v3 to a 4v2. Excuse me, a 3v2 so quickly. It felt like ATK somehow managed to find the answers without much in return on Team 1's side. And here again, Bowden gets the opening frag, will get traded, took a lot of damage. Now Fady's dropped as well. And Team 1 do have the 4v3 edge again. The thing is, ATK continue pushing, and I think Team 1's figured it out. Yeah, look at Pesa. He's waiting for the push to come through towards long. Swisher is lining himself up to swing around this corner, hoping the timing is in his favor. As it stands, Swisher does not want to chance it just yet. MOTM gets tagged through the door, I believe, around mid, so he's down to 28 HP. The only 100 HP player is Swisher. And Pesa, I mean, I feel like he heard something. He is so laser focused in here towards the doors. Thing is, when he walks through, the shadow will give him away. That gives Swisher the edge, and there you have it. 3v3. 50 seconds left for Team 1 to do something here. But they're picking the wrong site. There are two players waiting here. Good Molotov thrown to at least keep MOTM at bay, and now IDK has his attention moved towards long A, where Swisher is waiting. Still no plant through. 36 seconds left. Now it's going to get stuck to dirt. We'll see if Team 1 can hold on, Austin. Oh, nice nade.
There's the touchdown. Swisher's domed maul. Maluk comes through. One with the op, but Swisher rings his bell as well. Swisher comes with a big play. And the best part about that whole play from Swisher is that after getting that initial pick long doors, he doesn't push through. He doesn't go aggressive. He falls back. He takes the advantage with him and goes and sets up a different angle. It's a really smart heads-up play. A lot of times you see players get the pick and they get the confidence and they go forward. He takes his time, he doesn't rush it, and he's the hero of the round.
Yeah,
Phenomenal work from Swish.
It's also, not to mention, when he was holding towards long doors, the impatience settles in, and you start to think, oh man, I just got to go out, I got to push, I got to take a fight, but he didn't do that. He waited for his opportunity, and then immediately fell back, as you mentioned, to support the A site and ensure that the retake could come through, and come through cleanly, in fact, as ATK take their 9th. Team 1 do find the bomb plant, which means they'll be able to buy up again into this round, but no op will be available to them, and not a full utility set for any one player except IDK. We'll see how Team 1 wants to play this. Looks like some heavy upper tons presence, and no one's really on the B side, so a B take quickly here could be their advantage, but instead they are just going to go in towards the lower tunnels as Fady's going to toss a nade on forward. And now we wait to see where Team 1 decides to go.
Mid to B has been a famous spot of theirs. They really like to push that one, but they haven't really elected to go anywhere just yet. They're getting more mid control now with the hinge smoke, but that also means they could audible up Xbox and up towards Cat. They've really liked mid to B, they've really liked Cat. They haven't gone long all too much. The last time I remember them going full long was the round they had Tech 9s and Deegs. Oh, I think it was around 4 or 5, something around there. And now they're going back towards Cat. MOTM on the nades this time doesn't get the nade damage like Bowden did, but still, the presence is felt. That one a little more of a shot across the bow. Depth charge trying to find the submarine. Oh, that's a chunky boy from MOTM out towards middle, though. And now he's going to go through the smoke himself. Just wait on the edge for the cross to come through. IDK will show first. Not expecting somebody around the smoke. Why would you? You wouldn't. And that's the mid threat gone. The tons plays coming through. And look at Fady and missed him on the other side. Oh, he spots him through the smoke. That's a free kill. Can't get the second, but he's able to get out of there alive just barely. And MOTM's bailed him out.
Great support of each other there in the defense of the B site. And now CASA will go down to miss him as well. Only Maluk left standing, and he is probably just going to try and either save or throw his body towards ATK in order to ensure the lost bonus comes through. And it will be the latter as he goes out, tries to take a fight, and Swisher drops him to dirt. 10-0 for ATK. Perhaps frustrated with their performance in that previous BO3, trying to make up for it here.
Couple of Tech 9s, a Deagle, a Glock. But ATK on the clock right now, just continuing to put up the rounds. It's Team 1 on vacation, it seems, because they've barely done any damage. We've played 10 rounds. Team 1, or rather ATK, have died a combined 16 times. There's only 16 kills for ATK, or for Team 1, rather.
Oh boy. Well, they're going to go for a quick pop into the B site now. Maybe it'll work with Tech 9s, maybe not. Fady is going to get mobbed from behind and missed him. Rocks another one. Nate connects onto TRK. It's all ATK all the time, and that will be it for Team 1. Another flawless round for ATK. They've had 4 rounds out of the 11-1 without losing a single body. 6 of 11, only losing 1 player or less. That is really good, and you see the results in their economy. They've still got 3 AKs up and running right on the defensive end that helps so much. An AWP and an A1S. They're just cruising right now.
They are cruising indeed. They got the top down. It's a nice 74 degrees with a little bit of a breeze, and they're just driving down Pacific Coast Highway.
Oh, yeah.
They are having a good time. The radio's blasting, but Bowden's gone down first. That's a first opening, really, we've seen for Team 1 in a long time.
Yeah.
And maybe, just maybe, they can find a way to get around on the board here. If they can't, then I don't know what they need to do to get around, because it already started off well. Fady's spray doesn't do much at all. Just 10 points on the Mobs. The Molotov to stall, but here comes the nade strike. That's decent onto IDK. Is there more? Yep, MOTM's got another one coming through. Chunks down.
And another
third. And it's going to do so much damage. One-man nade army. This time it's MOTM on it. And he sprayed down the first. Swisher goes down, but MOTM's just chipping away. One by one by one. A flash being prepped onto Maluk, who's able to escape into Gandalf, but it's a 3v3 now, and MOTM's tucked in Goose. Fady's up on ramp, and there's nowhere for Team 1 to go unless Pesadillo can open up this round, and he will do just that. Fady gets taken down, and now MOTM in a very precarious position, runs out of ammunition, and he's going to get stuck in by Pesadillo, leaving it all down to the in-game leader of ATK. And it's a 1v3, but a very doable one considering the health on 2 of these 3 players. Oh, he's revealed. He's stuck for the first. He gets the second on the headshot. He's revealed, but Maluk hits the shot through the wall. Missed him so close and yet so far from clutching that one out. And finally, 12 rounds in, Team 1 crack open the goose egg. And they're going to try and start to make an omelet out of this half.
Oh my goodness, though. So tough, so hard fought there for Team 1, but they finally do it. I mean, missed him the awareness to go for the flick and try to get the transfer. He got it, in fact, in the 2K, but the third one just a little too tall of an order for him. And finally, Team 1, as mentioned, they get 1 round. They need more than that to find their way back into this match, but it's been really difficult. I think ATK are hard counter-stratting them right now with those nades up cat. They know Team 1 likes to go in that direction, and every single time they are, the nades sail on through 3 of them in that round, softening up Team 1 for MOTM, and almost leading to a 12th ATK round victory. That said, here we go into round number 13. Team 1 want to make it 2. A nade sails forward, doesn't really connect for much damage. And the round's almost halfway over, not really much space gain from Team 1. Now they might, because Maluk is going up cat, and no one's really watching it for ATK. They've got more heavy presence towards long with 2 players there, and 1 in CT, that's MOTM.
He's got to line up, but he can only get nothing, just the nade damage for him. Malb's the good headshot. That's what you want from Malbs to get your engine going. But right now it's Maluk, the hero of that 1 round Team 1 have to their name. Fady coming through. The bomb goes down, and Fady's just going to wait for that smoke to fade. MOTM might get the kill onto Mistim if the smoke fades favorably for him, but time is ticking away. There's no counter utility for Team 1. There's no Molotovs, unfortunately, for ATK, but they're going to go for... If they're going to go for this, they got to go. They can't just sit here. They have to move. There it goes. The utility flies in. Pesadillo's on the mid flank. And TRK, Malbs, and IDK all finding kills. Paces backstabs, strikes. And Team 1 with a flurry are able to finish this one out. Get their second in a row and second on the board. Starting to look a little bit better here for Team 1. If they can get to 4, things are all right.
Yeah, good patience from Pesa there. He waited and waited and waited for his opportunity. Was the sentry over in the tunnels because he didn't want a flank to come through. And when no one decided to go into those lower tunnels, he pushes out, gets the final blow on the backstab, and then Team 1 pick up their second. Excellent hold, of course, on the B side proper. And it's just so hard as a CT to get in there, especially with only 3 pieces of util in the post plant. And now IDK spots out Fady, getting a little too antsy in lower tunnels. Bowden actually walked in IDK's sight line, but IDK didn't spot him out, and that means that Bowden's able to strike with the trade, and IDK, in fact, taken down to 8 HP himself. So after another good start to the round by Team 1, it's getting a little bit hairier.
Yeah, it's getting a little scary, a little hairy, a little wild and woolly. And one thing's for sure, ATK have done a really good job of managing their utility.
Yeah.
And using it to just harass Team 1. Like, a little bit. It's hit and run, hit and fade tactics, essentially, with the utility from Team 1, or from ATK. Just throw a little bit, and then nothing. And then do a little bit more, and then silence. And then do a little bit more, and then silence. And it's kind of throwing Team 1 into a bit of confusion, too, because you never really know what ATK is going to do. You just know that something's coming, probably. And right now, there's a couple of nades here. MOTM only has a smoke, though, and he'll use that on Catwalk. A smoke gets thrown by Team 1 as well. MOTM's going to dodge the flash and go right forward, but Malbs, that's exactly what he's there for. Mistim gets taken out by Pesadillo, dropping the CT spawn. Switcher falls as well, and Bowden will probably just try and save the op. At this point, he'll get 1 kill for his troubles and back away. Team 1 with 3 in a row now. And the money for ATK is not going to be the best for this final round of the half, so a 4th looking very likely for Team 1. Especially if they could take the op out of the hands of Bowden. That would help out immensely. But he's just going to sit up in towards suicide and hope it doesn't end up being his grave. As that time is going to tick down, about 20 seconds to go. And there's a hunt on.
Yeah. Not sure what it's going to yield. I'm pretty sure Bowden will be able to walk out of this round with the op. But interestingly, ATK, who are so very consistent with their hold of Cat, with all those nades being dropped in CT spawn for it, didn't have that this time. And if they did, it would have dealt just as much damage to Team 1. And in fact, probably could have tilted the round in their favor. Instead, Team 1 just walk on forward to the A site. They win all their aim duels, survive with a little HP in a couple of cases. And ATK lose a third in a row. 15th and final round of play here in this first half of action. ATK trying to make it 12. And I think, again, there are the nades. They're back. They're ready. 3 of them waiting in CT spawn, but a hit is already on here towards long. Swisher needs to be careful as Maluk finds the opener onto Bowden. Fady does get the trade, so that's the good news. The bad news is, look at the space that Team 1 have gained here. At least bad news for ATK. Swisher gonna be pushed into the smoke. It's a risky play, and eventually he finds his way through for 1, 2, and the third. What a play from Swisher. The flashbang thrown by Malbs actually blinds his teammates, and then the util hits Pesa, slows him down, and Fady gets the last. 12-3 for Team 1 as we head to
one in that first half. 12 rounds of the CT side, but do they have what it takes to finish this one off cleanly? We'll find out as Boggs and JRT on the call. And Swelder, our observer for the evening and for tomorrow as well. We hope you've been enjoying the show so far. ATK, after a rough first match, trying to remedy that one here with a very good and quick start. 4 rounds required to take this one over, and this round is not live.
Definitely not.
Yeah. I wonder what happened. I'll see what's going on here and update you all as soon as we get the information. Alrighty, we'll just have a round restart here, folks, so do bear with us, and we'll get back to the action here momentarily. Might take a minute, and the score might be a little messed up, but we'll be back into this pretty quickly here. And why don't they take the time to play with the soccer ball? It's there for a reason. Never get to see anybody in NA play with the soccer ball. It's kind of sad.
They need a net or something.
True.
Like, so you can have a goalie and then kick the ball.
I always just use the little roll-up door as a goal.
Oh. Yeah, I guess that could work. You gotta get the tire out of the way, though. It's gonna create physics collisions and stuff.
It does, and sometimes it gets stuck under the car, but...
Yeah. Valve, please fix. Add net to DUST2.
Yes, please add soccer goal to DUST2. If anyone has
Yeah.
Valve contacts, please. Who cares about Source 2? Add a goal to DUST2. Here we are, though. Looks like we're actually live this time, so we'll be ready to roll into the action. Maluk and Pesadillo up catwalk. It's a pretty standard setup, all things considered, aside from that cat aggression. And ATK are waiting for B aggression. They have 2 players positioned out of
Pesa.
tunnels. The aggression, though, it's going the other way. It's going up cat. And there's no way it's going to be expected from the looks of things.
No way at all. Pesa might have a couple of freebies here as ATK are more concerned with what's ahead of them and what's behind. Malb's going to get 1. MOTM very exposed here. Yeah, freebie for Pesa. There you go. 5v3, 5v2 now as TRK is popping heads on B. Finally has his head popped in turn. And Swisher finding that, but Maluk comes in on the flank, and that's all she wrote for the round. 4th picked up by Team 1. They make it look easy on the pistol. And now we jump into the second round of this second half. Looking at the economy for ATK, without that bomb plant and with very little damage done in the previous round, probably just going to be a full-on save with a bomb plant being best case scenario.
Yeah, that was a very bizarre pistol round strat, spreading yourself so thin on DUST2. And kind of just sending 2 people out long with Glocks against the far superior ranged weapon in the USP or the P2000. We'll see what they can do in the next round, because this is just the Glocks until they can get the rifles into round number 3 of the half. Maluk will be able to tap away for a couple of players, takes a dink, and goes back for more. He's got support as well. This one should be all done and dusted here momentarily.
Oh, plant.
And wow, they got a plant.
Really?
I love it from Bodie. He's like, job done. Bye, pistol.
Job's done.
Yep. I needed that. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, Fady just surviving, running away, preventing Team 1 from doing damage. I mean, look, honestly, ATK All they needed was the plant, like we said, and once Bowden finds it, says, all right, well, there we go. Glock thrown away, and ATK will have a pretty strong buy as a result here into this one. Team 1 on the bonus. That means they're going to have a couple of FAMASas, the MP9, and 2 A1Ss on their side. Malt, getting that Molotov thrown early towards long A. A couple of flashbangs, 3 in fact, thrown to long. Perhaps ATK just trying to pull Team 1 in this direction. Now they've slowed up the pace. One player is going to be pushing, potentially Swisher. At least hanging around the long doors, hoping that a push comes through. We'll see if that'll be the case. Going to start spamming through the doors, in fact, and Malbs just sees those bullets whiz right past his face. Nade gets thrown on through, and still no one really spotting out anyone on either side.
There's a little nade damage, though, so the early chip goes the way of Team 1. Bowden going to try an entry up onto A, but Maluk's holding the rifle. Doesn't matter. Wow, that's a good shot from
really
Bowden.
Good kill. Yeah.
Takes the pixel angle, and there's no nade stack from Team 1, much to ATK's joy, because getting nade stacked is a fun time. Fady goes 1 for 1 out middle. But Pesadillo's dropped the op of Bowden Master, and he's might get in the second kill as well. He grabs a different M4 because of the more rounds, but missed him will go 1 for 1 as well. ATK really losing a lot of players here at Malbs. Is a disgusting follow-up. Can get the third. Yes, he can. Swisher goes down. And Team 1 escape by the skin of their teeth, the hair of their chinny chin chin, to grab a 6th round. They grab the op for Maluk. And buckle up, folks, because this one's just getting started.
ATK struggling to work with bigger leads. I guess they're getting too comfortable, making mistakes, and in that round, just taking too many fights post-plant. Malbs, to his credit, I mean, that second shot that he had with the FAMAS was ridiculous as he was pointing towards Cap, but I mean, still, ATK could have tucked in a little bit better. And Team 1 find themselves a 3rd round, despite the fact that ATK gets another bomb plant, this time in a buy round. They just cannot close it out. So now they're going to go for a quick long hit. Maluk's waiting there with the op. He gets 1, only 1, and that's pretty much all he wanted, because he's going to back off, take a more passive pull, potentially from CT. No one on the site proper, but a boost can come through, and that'll likely alleviate things, and it absolutely does. So Malbs takes up that space, and ATK are still hanging around long. They're a little hesitant to push up, and as they should be, because there was an opper right around the corner just a moment ago. So they're going to have to dedicate a lot of utility just to come around this corner. They finally do. Only have 2 flashes and a Molotov left to them. Now only 1 flash because they used it just to clear out the space here at long. It is getting dicey for them. There's a lot of time left on the clock, Austin, but with only 2 pieces of utility, they have to hit here.
Malbs is just going to chill out in Gandalf and probably tell them you shall not pass if they come his way. Fady gets finally eliminated out towards mid. He's been a bit of a nuisance for Team 1 for a bit. The bomb's going to go down, though. It's a long plat plant, but it's a 5v3 retake, and Team 1 have every resource at their disposal, besides some HEs. Flashes going through. Bowden and MOTM going in towards CT spawn. There's the open 1. Swisher swings for Cap, and he's able to get 1. TRK, Maluk, and Malbs all with the last 3. And in about a blink of an eye, maybe a blink and a half, Team 1 are able to grab a 7th round, and there's only 5 rounds now separating these 2 teams. The CT side favoring both these 2, and that's a bit of a statistical anomaly, as both teams slightly stronger on their T sides and their CT sides on this map so far, in the last 3 months anyway. Buy up again for ATK because of the plant, but no op for Bowden, which does not necessarily bode too well for the T side. They don't have an op to counter Maluk.
ATK blank so far here in the second half. The good news for them is that they keep finding a way onto the sites. And the bad news is they can't hold on to those sites. The retakes have just been too good from Team 1. ATK, once more being given so much space towards long. In fact, more than they have been over the last 3 rounds. And, I mean, towards CT, you do have Maluk with the op, but A is ripe for the taking at this point. Obviously, Team 1 from this position can get the audio cues if noise is made towards long, but as it stands, ATK still stealthily moving their way up. One player in lower, that's what Pace is watching for, but Fady's timing this well so that the boost will eventually fall by the wayside. And now ATK a chance to go towards A.
Utility going into the A side, Smokes going in towards CT. Missed him charging up the ramp, looking for that opportunity to open the round. Faces behind the smoke, looking for a jump spot, but Fady, that's a big kill on the Mobs. He's a key player for this Team 1 side to remove early. And that'll give him a little bit more space. I believe they know something's going to hand off as well. Fady spamming that position. Pesa creeps out wide, and he's crouched out, and he gets the kill. IDK takes out Bodenmaster as well before Swisher can trade, but he's doubled down. Maluk falls as well. That's the off gone. TRK swings out wide, but he cannot get past Wisdom. All down to the last man standing as Pesadello, and Mistim will get the last 2 kills. The in-game leader for ATK shows up big time. And finally, for the first time in this half, ATK are able to get around, and that's going to force a tactical timeout out of Team 1. That's an incredibly early timeout, a very interesting one, because they've been so strong so far, and then they're like, all right, hold up, punch the brakes. That one, right after the round was over, it was called instantly.
Yeah, I think everything went wrong in that round for Team 1. They do want to call a timeout to talk things over. Money is still good, because they've won 4 rounds in a row here to kick off the half, and of course, didn't really lose too much manpower aside from round number 3, when 3 players fell by the wayside. That said, I mean, they wanted to go for full util instead of getting the A1Ss, so they settled for FAMASas and an MP9. They do have the utility available to them. We'll see if that decision pays off for Team 1. ATK, a 6-round lead, trying to make it 7 and double up on the scoreline of their opposition. And if ATK get this one, the money's just going to be in the dumpster for Team 1, so likely going to be a 15th after that. Very critical round for the Team 1 side. Maluk has repositioned towards B instead of holding mid, which he's been doing for quite some time, and even leaning towards long A at times. And Pace is up close and personal in the cubby here with the MP9. A really good spot to hold with this SMG.
Yeah, the SMG can be really potent from that position. And the op might be his first point of contact, too. Bowden's just strolling. There comes a bit of spam. MOTM gonna try and cross after sending some fire down range to return the favor. He'll get up Xbox though, and it's going to be a cat push from ATK. 3 players of 5, now make it 4 on the catwalk. The SMG still not popping forward in the hands of Pesadello. There is TRK here around the vicinity, and Malbs out towards long. I believe Team 1 have to know what's going on. They have to know it's either a cat play or a push towards middle. And these smokes towards A are going to telegraph what this is. The Molotov will not be smoked though for ATK. That's going to buy a lot of time. That's going to waste a lot of the smokes that ATK already invested into this take, and that is indeed quite nice. The secondary smoke comes through. Great stall utility from TRK.
The Molotov doesn't go for the site. It goes for Goose, but oh, Swisher had his crosshair locked in towards default and gets an insta-headshot as TRK tries to peek around and get information. Pesa does get the response, but the site has been taken. This is going to be a very hard retake for Team 1. Given their economy, might be better to just fall off this one. They're going to try a little bit, right? Because they still have a 4v4. But if things start to go by the wayside, they need that op in the next round. It's so important. That's why you see Maluk hanging around CT for the time being, letting his riflers do the work. Swisher and Mistim get a couple. The op has to fall back now. There it goes. Will it even survive? I don't know. Maluk tosses the smoke. He gets spotted out. Sprayed through the smoke, and that'll be that. He cannot escape. A little bit of celebratory knife damage being done amongst the ATK players. As well, they're feeling good. 14-7. As mentioned, Team 1's economy has been completely shot as they couldn't save a single rifle out of that previous round.
Couldn't save a single gun, not even a pistol, not even a deagle. They couldn't save anything. And so they'll have a P250 and a deagle into this round. But this should be 15 for ATK. And that is where things get real messy for Team 1. They need 8 in a row to bring it to overtime. And ATK have momentum now. ATK are starting to feel it. But they don't clear out car all the way. You gotta know that Molotov doesn't clear out all of car. That's a dangerous mistake that could definitely cost ATK now, as so much damage has been done to both Fady and Swisher. Luckily, they take out IDK before he can do any more, leaving it all down to TRK in a 1v4. But It's just little simple things that seem to go ignored by ATK sometimes.
I mean, Swisher almost got cut out by that mid push too. He's lucky to get out of that alive and find that 2K. Anyway, TRK, there's a gun to be picked up towards top mid, but he will get ventilated by the AK of Mistim. So ATK are on to 15. They have 8 opportunities to close out this map and send us on over to Mirage, where they struggled against B-Hop, but they said that's just a one-time deal. We're picking into it again. And so far, ATK looking strong here.
They are looking strong indeed. Mobs on a FAMAS. If there's one guy you want on something other than a FAMAS, it's got to be Mobs, right? You want to give him a bit more of a headshot machine. Ooh, that's aggressive from Maluk. And he's going to continue going forward. He's got the bomb, too. And the in-game leader for Team 1 puts the team on his back and leads from the front. They're going to drop the bomb and just fall away. In the meantime, there was another kill gathered up by IDK. And Maluk's going to post up, ready for this. Easy peasy. There's a lot of wallbang damage, and TRK actually gets caught out. But this is still a round that has to be won by Team 1. There's no way ATK win a 2v5, especially with their players down very low on health. It's just a matter of how much economic damage can they do, how many players can they stick on SMGs, and Pesa's flying through T-spawn is going to negate pretty much anything that Fady can do now, all alone. Yeah,
Pesa getting there was the round over, as Fady has pretty much every angle to watch, and Pesa ends it with a well-placed shot to the dome of Fady, so Team 1 is not out of this one just yet, but there's still plenty of money for ATK, so Team 1 going to need a repeat effort for 7 more rounds. ATK. That didn't work out at all, and it's thanks to Maluk's aggression, like you were mentioning, into the upper tunnels. He gets one and then continues pushing for a second, which was completely unexpected by ATK. And at that point, they had Team 1 members pushing from every single angle, and there was just nothing they could do to respond. So they might go for a quick one here to avoid a similar situation. There's the flashbang thrown. 3 players waiting at long. A smoke disguising off their vision, but it doesn't matter. Mistim gets a couple through the smoke. Maluk finds a trade, but he will fall too to Mistim. All 3 of Mistim's frags coming through the smoke. Only TRK and IDK are standing here in order to keep ATK from securing the first map, and it's now only TRK.
TRK in a 1v4. Granted, ATK have not crossed to the site just yet, but this is a huge opportunity for ATK to seal this one off and early. If they're able to win it, they can be on the fast track to Mirage, their pick. Now they can definitely forget about what happened against B-Hop, because that one was one that I think is going to be a statistical anomaly for ATK. In the meantime, though, TRK is creeping up. Has to be careful not to get shot at the back, though. He's just waiting for mid. He's looking complete. Now he finally goes to check Cat, but there's so many different angles he can get shot.
Hard.
There's so many different angles ATK can come from. This is such a low possibility clutch for TRK. If he chooses one wrong move, well, it doesn't even matter, because he just gets shot in the back anyways. That's all she wrote. 16-7 for ATK.